October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and a report released this week by the Texas Council on Family Violence shows, listen to this, in 2020, 228 Texans were killed by someone who claimed to love them. That is a 23% increase from the year before.
Heartbreaking. Well, in San Antonio and Bexar County, 1 in 3 women will be affected by domestic violence. Well, joining us this morning is Marta Pelaez, President and CEO of Family Violence Prevention Services. Marta is also on the board of the Texas Council on Family Violence. Good morning, Marta. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much for your interest in this very important issue.
And Marta, we know that domestic violence doesn't just affect women, and we're wondering during the COVID pandemic, what kind of impact did that have on these statistics?
Well, as you very well know, what happened to victims of domestic violence is that they were more isolated in the company of the abuser with their children. So that was an opportunity to exacerbate every feature of domestic violence. So be it emotional, psychological, physical, financial, everything else was exacerbated for the victims of domestic violence during the pandemic. It was very unfortunate.
And Ms. Pelaez, I know that you've been a strong advocate for many years in terms of this. And in San Antonio and Bexar County, what is the strategy here to save lives?
Above all, education. Education engages everyone in the community to understand what domestic violence is, what it does to victims, and ultimately what it does to the community, because it happens in families. It happens in the intimacy of homes and in the intimacy of families again. So what that means is that a family that is experiencing domestic violence is not necessarily good for the community. And when a family is not doing well, the community is not doing well. So it is up to each and every one of the members of that community, be it the family cell or the larger community, to understand what domestic violence is, how it impacts everybody. Let me further say and remind everybody that in spite of how shocking this statement may be, the majority of the victims of domestic violence are not women, are not men, but they are children. So that goes to the very center of generational violence and why it keeps increasing with every new year. Our demographics show that a mother, 36-year-old mother, comes to the shelter, to the Battered Women and Children's Shelter, with 3 children. That mother and those children will be saved. They will be receiving services, and they will become independent and self-sufficient outside of domestic violence. But it is the mother and the children who do not reach out for resources. That is the biggest concern, because those 3 children, if not properly and timely intervened, will be the next generation of victims and abusers.
And Marta, we have about 30 seconds left. We know that your mission is awareness, and you're having a 9th annual Purple Run that's coming up in the next week. Can you tell us about that?
Absolutely. That is a wonderful, beautiful show of solidarity around the victims of domestic violence and around prevention. So please come on. Register www.thepurplerun.org. Come on over. Even if you're not running, it will be a march of solidarity.
Well, Ms. Pelaez, we appreciate you for being with us on this Sunday morning, and thank you for all the work that you do in our community. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
And if you know anyone that needs help, the Domestic Violence Crisis Hotline is there on your screen. That number is 210-733-8810.